Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum students. I hope everyone is fine. I am Aisha from APS Ordnance Road, Department of English. Today you will learn lesson 4, First Aid. The objectives of today's lesson are that you will be able to read and comprehend the text for information, analyze the importance of first aid in crisis management, identify theme vocabulary, and answer comprehension questions relevantly. Before we move on to the reading and explanation, let's look at this brief introduction of first aid. Accidents happen. Someone chokes on an ice cube or gets stung by a bee. It is important to know when to call 911. It is for life threatening emergencies. While waiting for help to arrive, you may be able to save someone's life. Cardiopulmonary resuscitation (CPR) is for people whose hearts or breathing has stopped, and Heimlich maneuver is for people who are choking. You can also learn to handle common injuries and wounds. Cuts and scrapes, for example, should be rinsed with cool water. To stop bleeding, apply firm but gentle pressure using gauze. If blood soaks through, add more gauze, keeping the first layer in place. Continue to apply pressure. It is important to have a first aid kit available. Keep one at home and one in your car. It should include a first aid guide. Read the guide to learn how to use the item. So let's start with vocabulary from paragraph number 1. Here I have enlisted some of the difficult words from paragraph number 1 with their meanings. Temporary is for the time being or not permanent. Immediate is quick. Assistance means aid or help. Comprising is consisting of. Critical means urgent or necessary. Lay person is any common person who is not professionally trained to do something. Administer is perform or give. Minimal is the least possible or available. Ranges is reaches or includes. Now let's begin reading. Take out your books, paragraph number 1, page number 38. Let's start reading. We all need help at times in our lives. Sometimes we may have accidents and we may get hurt. When we are injured or suddenly become unwell, we need someone to help us, someone who knows what to do. It is the temporary and immediate help. This timely assistance, comprising simple medical techniques, is most critical to the victims and is often life saving. Any layperson can be trained to administer first aid. This first aid can be carried out using minimal equipment. First aid knowledge ranges from taking care of cuts to deal with an unconscious victim. In this paragraph, we learn that having knowledge and training of first aid is very important. It provides an instant help to the victim, saves time until the medical help reaches. So, it also guides us in crisis management, and crisis management is a process of dealing any sudden or emergency situation. So instead of getting panic in an emergency situation, the person who has first aid knowledge is always confident and comes forward to help somebody who is in need. And do you know you are supposed to answer some questions which I made from this paragraph number 1? First question is, what is the significance of first aid knowledge in crisis management? Why is it said that any layperson can administer first aid? What do you mean by crisis management? So, you are going to answer these questions if you have understood the paragraph. And if you haven't understood or still are confused, you can ask me, and you need to read the paragraph twice, thrice. Let's move to vocabulary of paragraph number 2. Scraps are scratches or skin tone. Elevate means to raise or lift up. Dislodge is to remove or force out. Resume is continue. Spurts means flows. Assistance is help or aid. Rinse means wash quickly. Irritate is disturb. Debris is dust or remains of broken rubble. Tetanus is a serious infection of the central nervous system caused by open wounds. Moist means slightly wet and adhesive is sticky material. Paragraph number 4. Cuts and scraps. Handling minor accidents at home or on the road develops a sense of crisis management. This may prepare people to tackle with unexpected emergencies with great confidence. Minor cuts and scraps usually do not need to go to the emergency room. Yet, proper care is essential to avoid infection or other complications. Following guidelines can help you to handle crisis and take care of all. Here, in this paragraph, we learn that with the help of some guidelines, we can deal with minor cuts or scraps at home because every wound is not supposed to be taken to the hospital or to the doctor. It can be dealt with at home. The first step in this regard is stop the bleeding. Minor cuts and scraps usually stop bleeding on their own. If they don't apply gentle pressure with the clean cloth or bandage, hold the pressure continuously for 20 to 30 seconds and if possible elevate the wound. Elevate means to lift it a little higher. Don't keep checking to see if bleeding has stopped because this may damage or dislodge the clot. So damage or dislodge means that if the clot is being formed, we are supposed to keep the pressure that is forming and cause bleeding to resume. So blood will start again if we keep on checking it. If blood spurts or continues flowing after continuous pressure, seek medical assistance. So here we find the guidelines for how bleeding can be stopped if someone is wounded. We need to apply firm pressure for 20 to 30 seconds, lift the wound a little higher, and we must avoid checking it again and again. If the blood does not stop after doing all this, the victim must be taken to the doctor. The next step in this regard is clean the wound. Rinse out the wound with clean water. To clean the area around the wound, use soap and wash cloth. But soap can irritate the wound, so try to keep it out of the actual wound. If dirt or debris remain in the wound, after washing, use tweezers. Clean with alcohol or remove the particles. If debris still remains, see your doctor. Thorough cleaning reduces the risk of infection and tetanus. So, here in this paragraph, we find out that how the wound should be cleaned. It should be washed with water first and then soap. If you're applying soap, make sure that the area of wound should be avoided. Like soap should not directly be applied on the wound because it may irritate the wound. And removing of debris or dirt is also very important. So cleaning of wound is very important. Then the third step is to apply an antibiotic. After you clean the wound, apply a thin layer of an antibiotic cream or ointment to help keep the surface moist. The products don't make the wound heal faster, but they can help your body's natural healing process work fast. Certain ingredients in some ointments can cause a mild rash in some people. If a rash appears, stop using the ointment. It is simple. The third step is you need to keep your wound soft and moist, and an antibiotic cream can do that. So we can apply it after cleaning the wound. But if you think that it is creating irritation or rash, so you should quickly avoid using it, stop using it. The next step or the guideline in order to take care of cuts or scraps is cover the wound. Bandage can help keep the wound clean and keep harmful bacteria out. After the wound has healed enough to make infection unlikely, exposure to the air will speed wound healing. So, in this step, we learn that we need to cover or bandage the wound. And after we see that it has started healing, we can uncover it so that it gets the air, oxygen, and its healing process will be sped up. The fifth step in this regard is change the dressing. Change the dressing at least daily or whenever it becomes wet or dirty. If you are allergic to the adhesive used in most of the bandages, switch to adhesive free dressings or sterile gauze held in place with paper tape. Gauze roll or loosely applied elastic bandage. These supplies generally are available at pharmacies. So the fifth step is that we need to keep on changing the dressing regularly. When we do that, our we may get our wound healed up faster. But when it becomes wet or dirty, you can get it changed. But once a day, after 24 hours, the dressing should be changed. And then there are suggestions that if you are allergic to the sticky material which is there on the gauzes, you can simply avoid those adhesive material by switching to the adhesive free dressing. The next step in this regard is watch for signs of infection. See your doctor if the wound see your doctor if the wound is not healing, or you notice any redness, increased pain, drainage, warmth, or swelling. So here I have given you some questions after these 6 steps. What are the guidelines one has to follow while handling minor cuts or scraps? For how long we need to hold the pressure to stop bleeding? What precaution we need to take while cleaning the wound? How often the dressing needs to be changed? What other options a person can use if he is allergic to adhesive material? And when do you need to see a doctor? After reading all these 6 guidelines, you should be able to answer these questions yourself. Let's move to the vocabulary of paragraph number 3. Accessible means reachable. Making a sling means hanging bandage around neck to support an injured arm. Antiseptic is clean or free from germs. Alcohol is an antiseptic liquid. Latex is skin tight material. Fluid is liquid. Analgesic is pain reliever. Unit 4, first aid, paragraph number 3. Let's read it. First aid kit. Every office, factory, home, and school should have an accessible first aid box with the following recommended basic contents. The first one is first aid book, clearly explains how to handle the basic problems. The second one is band-aids, plasters. Band-aids or sticking plasters are good for dressing small wounds. They come in all shapes and sizes for fingers, legs, and anywhere else you might get little cuts. Make sure the band-aid is big enough to cover the wound. If not, you should use a dressing instead. The fourth important item for the first aid kit is gauze and adhesive tape. Gauze pads or rolls are cloth pads that are placed directly on a wound to protect and control bleeding. For larger cuts and scrapes, you will need adhesive tape to keep the gauze in place. In an emergency, a clean cloth, hand towel, clean t-shirt can be used to cover the wound. The fifth important item in first aid kit is antiseptic wipes, alcohol swabs they are also called, and cotton wool. The sixth item is safety pin, safety pins and tweezers. The seventh important content that you need to have in the first aid kit is scissors. Then latex gloves. Latex gloves are always a good idea, especially if you are dealing with body fluids from a stranger. Calamine lotion. Calamine lotion is used for soothing sunburns and stings. Clinical thermometer. You know it is important. And the last one is analgesic tablet, such as aspirin or paracetamol. They are pain relievers. They are also required at the time of emergency and they are important, one of the important items in first aid kit. Now answer these questions. Why are the elastic bandages recommended as basic content for first aid kit? You are supposed to name the important items of first aid kit. How are gauzes and adhesive tapes useful for treating small wounds? Why are latex gloves necessary for the first aid kit? Let's go for the recap. In the first paragraph, we learned the importance of first aid, knowledge, and administering it in an emergency. In second paragraph, we learned dealing cuts and scraps, and the first guideline in that regard was applying pressure to stop bleeding. The second step was proper cleaning of the wound to avoid infection. The third step was applying an antibiotic to help keep the surface of the wound moist. The fourth one was to cover the wound with the bandage. The fifth one was to change the dressing regularly. The sixth one was watch for the signs of infection. That if you have swelling, pain, redness, and drainage, it indicates that you have infection. So we need to consult a doctor. In the last paragraph, we had seen the items and their use that was necessary for the first aid kit. That was all. If you have any question, please you can ask me. Thank you. You are ready in case of an emergency.